whether there are alternatives out there. We've heard some ideas have come to us as possible alternatives that are more cost effective, do not have the life cycle replacement costs. It's great to think that we have grant money now, but we have to think realistically 20 to 30 years down the road, could we handle these costs and on our own? That's a serious responsibility, and we have to think about that. So it's nice that we can get away with it right now with grant monies, but what are we going to burden the next generation with as well? So looking at this, we just say that there are alternatives out there. We keep hearing from here and there that there are things out there, and I think it's, instead of just giving it all up and saying we're just going back to the lagoons, I think we need to stop and say, can we as a board reconsider options? And you have withdrawn as of December 31st, but you're still part of the discussion for the month of January. And I personally think that we feel we would carry on that same approach with an extension to consider what we could possibly do, investigating our own staff, not spending exorbitant amounts of money, investigating what the possibilities are. We have some technical people on staff that are capable, bright people that could investigate options and come back to us and say, here's some viable, far less costly options that you can consider, and we could possibly go to that. There's things that in...
Can you name them?
Well, I mean, when you talk to people, even like the Blue Frog option, which I'm not going there.
Don't go there, please.
Well,
because if you talk about that, we'll leave now.
Okay. Okay, well...
you should check that out before you start throwing the name around.
Well, we have asked lots of questions to them. We have. Has South Shore asked lots of questions to Blue Frog?
Oh, yeah.
You've asked lots of questions.
Rude.
Pardon me? Your Don Giberson has looked into that thoroughly.
Just a second here, I'm still chair of the meeting.
Okay, well, you kind of turned it over, so I was trying to explain perspective from the way I saw it. Bottom line, I think we all want to find something that can work, that we can handle financially.
Councilor McGuire.
Just to kind of put it in a nutshell, basically, when we look at the numbers from our perspective, full single bill, which is small for us, double train, too big. We need some. Can we get something in the middle that would satisfy everybody? I still think the plant is a viable thing. We need it, but can we take the single train and maybe upsize it a little bit more, keep blue water into it, but not have it so massive that we're not wasting money on something that we might not use 20 years down the road. Make it sized right for what we found out.
Did Blue Water and Lambton Shores have any kind of agreement on usage of capacity until there was no settlement, no discussion?
Don, I'll let you.
And the lawyers were supposed to be yesterday at 3 o'clock to try and work through some of those, the details and specifics of doing that. That meeting was aborted after council's decision.
So when we move on, or if something happens and we move on to whatever suggestion this comes to, does that mean we got to turn around and do another EA on that lagoon? So here we are, we've already spent all this money on EA, and we're turning around and you're asking our taxpayers to spend more money on another EA, and we don't have any money to pay for what we've already spent. Where's that going to come from? Like, we're just throwing bad money after more bad money.
Any guys in town good? Paul.
Well, with Blue Water, and I'm sure, yeah, it's sitting at the lawyers, but just for clarification, our council went home from that meeting, and the mayor called a meeting within the legal amounts that one could do within 2 days, and we had a general direction, I think, of our council that we wanted to make a deal for you guys to use it. So I want that on the record. I think that's fair to say. Yes, there was always the final details, and the council didn't get a chance to see the final point. But just for the record, our council did, I think, its due diligence to work with you guys, because I don't want to make a comment, what was at the lawyers, and then of course it fell through because of last night. And that's fair enough, Mr. Mayor. I think I've got it about right. We didn't officially yet pass the motion that we were happy with an agreement for you, but we sure as heck we're doing our job. And I just want to point out that, you know, your council waited till Monday before they had a meeting, but that's your business. But we had a meeting right after here, we went Thursday that day and worked at it.
Mayor Duffy?
Just to clarify, and Mayor on that one, and the reason was, why would we sit on that? If that's gonna make it, that you could go to a single train and give you the capacity for 7 or 8 or 10 years, and that would, you could then move to single train, that would sure eliminate what South Shore wanted. And if we didn't need it, it'd be very foolish for us to hold it up, hanging on to that and making you realize you need more capacity than that smaller train. So that brought us to the table ourselves more than anything. Let's do that. We sent a letter through saying some of the requests we'd like to see in from Lambton Shores when that day comes. We haven't had a reply back on it. Our main reason was to try to make the other train work, the lower train work, and make it better for everybody. Obviously, that didn't work. At this time, it hasn't worked. At this time. We weren't doing it to try to get on one side or the other. We were trying to put something in the middle here that both sides could live with and save face. And that was the reason that was brought forward, not to try to get a favor from someone.
Tom?
Yeah, I appreciate that every council has, they have to do their own thing. But I find it very odd that we would wait until the very last day to come up with another idea. Because we had meetings, and I respect what some of these other organizations or some of these groups, they've spent some of their own monies. And they have brought forth proposals. When I say 6 months ago, I don't want to be, I might be off a month or two, but a long time ago, there was a proposal brought through for that this system was way too big and too costly. And whether, for some reason, we got the idea that a full build single train was, and we stepped with that. Now we're hearing that we would like to hear alternative situations, alternative systems, reconsider the whole thing. This is really, we were asked these questions 6 months ago, is there another solution? And the motion was that we carry on the way we were, and that's, we respected that motion, and we thought the grant, the question had been asked numerous times, would the grant Build Canada Fund be in place for the alternative, whether it's single train or double train? And we were told, I would like to thought that it was. Now, right at the last minute, I have a problem with this, that I don't see how we can change. We've just wasted a pile of money. That's, as a taxpayer, right? And time.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna follow up on what Tom said, and I don't, if this hurts somebody's feelings, I really don't care. The fact is that the Lambton Shores members sat on this board, the new board, for a whole year up to now. And we went along with the whole build-out, full build-out, you're going along that lines, and we were trying to convince you otherwise, but there was no ever any mention of not voting for it. And then you have a vote, a special vote or a special meeting, and 2 members of this board voted against it. That to me is not very good as far as I'm concerned for people who got elected by the people to do a job, and they sat here for a whole year knowing full well what they were trying to do. And that to me is wrong. And you can't tell me that somebody came in with a motion at the last minute that that wasn't planned, because it sure as hell was.
It was not to my knowledge as mayor.
Very deceitful.
Yep.
When we're talking about a more cost-effective way, this motion. When we lose our $14 million grant money, how the hell can you find something that's more cost-effective?
Good point.